Guys, I don't want to alarm you, but I think we may be stuck in a time loop. I distinctly remember Attack on Titan, the final season, being the biggest show of winter 2021. And yet here we are in so-called winter 2022. I look at MAL, and what do I see at the top of that chart? Attack on Titan, the final fucking season. And right next to it, two other huge 2021 anime, The Realist Hero and The Case Study of Vanitas. Also, Demon Slayer, which actually that was a movie, and it came out in 2020 in Japan. So did Princess Connect, now that I think of it. And is that fucking Sayuki? Okay, now that I've had a slight amount of time to think about it, obviously those are sequels. That makes a lot more sense. So, sorry to overreact there, guys. Lockdown's really been messing with my sense of time, you know? That and all the G Fuel I've been chugging over winter break, if you know what I'm saying. Which is that you can use the promo code BASEMENT at gfuel.com to get 30% off any size order of their delicious, nominally nutritious powdered energy formula. Okay, assuming time and space are indeed functioning as expected, it is a new anime season now, and that means, on top of all these hyped up sequels, or rather, buried underneath them, there is a treasure trove of new potential hidden gems waiting for us to discover them. But, like, some of the gems are mimics? No, that's treasure chests. Shouldn't have mixed the metaphors. What I'm saying is, there's good new anime out now, but also a lot of bad new anime. And you don't want to watch any of that stuff, so I did so on your behalf as part of the process of watching everything. And now I've got a list of the 10 best anime out of all of those with which to recommend them to you. These are the ones to watch for winter 2021, brought to you by G Fuel. But I already covered that. Without a doubt, the most hyped up non-sequel of the season, especially among waifu speculators, has gotta be my dress-up darling. The titular darling in question, Marin Kitagawa, is an adorably upbeat bleach blonde gyaru with a secret passion for cosplaying as characters from erotic visual novels. It's not at all surprising that dudes who like anime would be attracted to such a, premise, but what is surprising is how little this anime actually feels like the vapid self-insert otaku pandering that by all rights you'd expect it to be. The key to that is that our shy, unpopular male protagonist, Wakana Gojo, is not himself an otaku, but rather a devoted artisan from a family of traditional Japanese Hina doll makers, which one of his classmates from elementary school told him was weird and creepy once, leaving him with a severe complex about his craft and hobby that has rendered him utterly friendless throughout his whole school career. That is, until now. Marin isn't bothered by all that. All she sees in Gojo is someone with confidence issues who's as passionate about his interests as she is about hers. And, perhaps more importantly, she sees a dude who can sew, which happens to be the one weapon that was missing from her otherwise excellent cosplay arsenal. I mean, I don't have to tell you this girl's makeup and hair game is on point, just look at her. And that actually complements Gojo's skill set as a doll maker quite nicely, as he's always been far more skilled at making the little costumes for his dolls than actually painting their faces or putting their hair in. And that dichotomy also reflects how each of them makes up for something that the other is lacking in their emotional lives. This is a strong, organic basis for romantic chemistry. Our leads are being pulled together by far more than just the target audience's presumed desire to get with a girl like that. And I think that's what makes this series feel like far more than just shallow, horny wish fulfillment. I mean, logically, it's gotta be, because let me tell you, it ain't backing down on the horny front. Consider yourself warned and/or enticed. Either way, now that I've got your attention, I'd like to take a sec to shill for a personal fave of mine this season that I know will be overlooked by pretty much everyone, Tribe 9. Created by Kazutaka Kodaka, the ultimate mad genius behind Akudama Drive and at least 3 Danganronpas, Tribe 9 is an original cyberpunk action anime based on a simple, easy-to-grasp high concept. What if Tokyo was ruled by gangs of delinquents, and the sole function of the government was to regulate the extreme baseball league that they all use to settle their disputes instead of fighting each other? I will be the first to admit that the bonkers premises and extreme personalities that typify Kodako's stories can come off as a bit convoluted. Some might even say cringe. But as a recently converted dang-it grandpa missionary, I can assure you, you get used to it. And it's worth getting used to it, because Kodaka delivers jaw-dropping moments of excessive anime spectacle, like hitting a home run with a railgun slug through the tip of Tokyo Tower, with a confidence and sincerity rivaled only by Hiroyuki Imaishi. Plus, plot twists the likes of which only Hideo Kojima could imagine. Other anime this season may offer more grounded characters, or plots that actually makes sense, but nowhere else will you get to see Sakuga of a guy sprinting down like 8 city blocks to catch and return a fly ball to the tune of background music composed by Masafumi No More Motherfucking Heroes Takada. And if that doesn't sound like fun to you, we probably can't be friends. Of course, no one can mainline anime that cool 24/7, not even with the aid of G Fuel. At some point, you will need to take a breather with something chill and mostly wholesome. And that's where Slow Loop, a cute girls doing cute things show where the cute thing is fly fishing, comes in. Hiyori is a young girl in a seaside town who learned to love the sport of fly fishing from her father, and sadly saw him pass away not long ago. Now she fishes out by the seawall as an excuse to be alone, think about stuff. But all that changes when the ditzy, infectiously cheerful Koharu stumbles into her fishing spot and takes an interest in her hobby. The two become fast friends, which is very convenient because in a stunning coincidence, it turns out they're also each other's new stepsisters. There are some truly compelling, tender emotions tied up in all these fishing lines, but they mostly take a backseat to cutesy, beautifully animated character comedy and general chill nature vibes. Like, this is looking like it's basically going to be Yuru Camp, but fishing. I don't know how much more I can really say to sell you on this one if you're not sold already. Are you a moe addict? Because this is where they're hiding the good shit this season. Now, moe isn't everyone's thing when it comes to cool down anime. I get that. Maybe a wholesome, low-stakes romance is more your speed. If that's the case, Sasaki and Miyano fills that niche quite nicely with a heartwarming tale of a straight teen boy with a secret passion for special yaoi books, and the tall, handsome, slightly socially oblivious delinquent normie senpai who has an unrequited crush on him. You don't really see a lot of soft, low-stakes, slow-burn romances in the boys love anime space, so Sasaki and Miyano ends up feeling refreshing and fun in a way that your average, terminally drawn-out Kimi ni Todo clone simply can't anymore. Plus, Miyano being so deep in the closet he's finding Santa's KFC buckets is a much more believable and organic excuse to take things this slow than, say, none of the characters ever thinking to clarify what a text message they're upset about actually means before freaking the hell out about it and causing problems. The series pairs those relaxing romance vibes with a surprisingly sharp, self-aware sense of humor and killer comic timing. And it manages to keep things entirely family-friendly. Mia-chan is just way too pure to even talk about fan service in public, let alone participate in it. So if you've been craving the sort of sweet doki doki feelings you got from early episodes of Horimiya, definitely give this show a watch. Yazzie's fully caught up on the manga, and she assures me it doesn't disappoint. Wish I could say that for every anime. Alright, let me be straight with you. My next recommendation, Tokyo 24th Ward, while it looks awesome, faces very high odds of going all Wonder Egg on us. As the third show on Cloverworks' winter roster, and their only original title this season, there's a good chance it'll have to sacrifice some Sakuga at some point so that fans of Akebi's school uniform can enjoy a few more frames of absurdly detailed feet. But I always want to believe in the creators of things I love when they take on risky original projects, and Naokatsu Suda believed in this anime enough to choose doing it over JoJo Part 6, and enough to commit to an hour-long pilot episode, so I'm really hoping for the best from it. Luckily, that pilot gave me plenty of good cause to do so. The show's alternate history setting, where the Allies built an artificial island in Tokyo Bay after World War II, whose Hong Kong-esque economic status is slated to end in 2021, just as a new Minority Report-style pre-crime system is being brought online, is complicated and interesting, and raises a lot of fascinating philosophical questions. And the show itself clearly intends to make those sorts of questions central to its narrative, as its first big conflict is basically just a very anime twist on the trolley problem. It also features a phenomenally strong core cast and its trio of teenage protagonists, Shuta, Ron, and Koki, collectively referred to as RGB on account of their hair. Koki is a wannabe politician and current pre-crime safety officer whose dad is the mayor of the soon-to-be annexed satellite island. Ron is a Banksy-esque street artist slash hacker who can hack faster the more energy drinks he shotguns. And Shuta once dreamed of being a hero, but gave up on that after failing to save their friend Asumi's life in a tragic elementary school fire. Which is a bit of a waste, because it becomes very clear by the end of this episode that our boy's got some latent shonen protagonist genes. It's too early to say exactly how this one will shake out, but with a large, likable, and well-developed cast, a compelling high concept, and a genuinely intriguing mystery bubbling beneath its surface, if Tokyo 24th Ward can stay good from beginning to end, it is gonna be really damn good. Of course, it's easy enough to believe in a veteran director with a proven track record of great anime under his belt. What takes real guts is believing in the dreams and spirit of passionate newbies, which is what Q, the anime tie-in to an Idol Razor-style mobile game where you run a voice acting agency that works exclusively with fresh, up-and-coming talent, is all about. Well, that and all the talent and craft that actually goes into voice acting. The way material can be transformed by each individual performer's interpretation of their character. The way talented actors can make unconventional choices feel as organic as a by-the-book reading of that material through their chemistry alone. So, like, if you're a theater kid like me, you're gonna get some good brain chemicals here. And if you're an anime fan in general who doesn't know much about acting, you might come away from this show with a much deeper appreciation for the work that actually goes into bringing your favorite characters and most cherished waifus and husbandos to life. But let's be real here. The main thing you're going to be taking away from Q, regardless of your acting knowledge, is an overwhelming feeling of moe. As you watch a bunch of impossibly adorable underdog girls, each with their own deeply personal reason for getting into voice acting, achieve their dreams with nothing but hard work, gumption, and the support of their friends, plus probably a relaxing hot springs and/or beach trip to recharge their batteries at some point. You know exactly what kind of show this is, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty good one of those so far, if only on the basis that it knows how to focus on a few interesting characters over trying to give every gacha waifu exactly equal screen time for marketing purposes. Though, that said, from the 20 total seconds I've seen of her, Riko is my favorite, and I am already willing to kill for her. Man, describing all this anime is starting to get kind of exhausting. Lucky for me, Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout is here to do my job for me with that title. The ordinary guy in question, Hinata Tachibana, no relation, has spent the last 32 years of his life achieving absolutely nothing and never getting laid. Not even with that haircut, while all the girls around him invariably fell for his smarter, handsomer, more successfuler best friend, Tsukasa Jinguji. Tsukasa, for his part, isn't really interested in the company of women, or anyone who's not Hinata for that matter, and spends most of his time quietly dismissing all of the implications of that. So these two best friends already have a bit of a fraught relationship, and it gets substantially more complicated when the goddess of love and beauty from another world, one that's presently under obligatory threat from a demon king, pops into the middle of Hinata's shit-faced moping session and grants his impulsive, drunken wish to be, like, a pretty girl, so he could know what it's like to have another person want him just once in his goddamn life. And then, just because their idiot antics piss her off, she also curses them to be irresistibly attracted to each other. So now it's a race against time to slay the Demon King before their bromance turns into a romance. If you're a fan of zany isekai parodies like Konosuba, or classic gender-bender comedy anime like Ranma Half, then Fantasy Bishoujo promises you plenty of hearty laughs. Speaking of laughs, personally, I'm always a sucker for a good work-life comedy. There's a lot that can suck about working in an office, giving presentations to the higher-ups, covering for the shortcomings of your superiors, tight deadlines, thin budgets, unreasonable last-minute demands from management. Stress lurks around every corner of every cubicle. And as Miss Kuroitsu from the Monster Development Department is all too aware, that doesn't change just because your office happens to be the headquarters of a Super Sentai show's evil organization. It takes a lot of work to make a brand new Monster of the Week every week, even under the best of circumstances. Sometimes it's all you can do to make a really powerful sword and then give it to a rando in a Loch Ness monster costume. Other times, you cook up a totally bangin' concept for a monster, like a genetically engineered wolfman with an innate lust for battle, but then your evil emperor, who is also literally a child, demands that you make him cuter and give him some very nice anime boobies, thus totally compromising his combat capabilities with crippling gender dysphoria. Either way, you roll with the punches, collect your paycheck, and try to make something better suited to eviscerating the forces of justice next week. That's just how it be everywhere in this bitch of a late-stage capitalism, and if you find humor in that, and/or deep-cut references to obscure tokusatsu series, then you are gonna get a kick out of this charmingly surreal office comedy. Creative apocalypses are a dime a dozen in anime these days. But you know what we don't see nearly enough of? That classic Mad Max-esque sandblasted wasteland look. Not enough people appreciate the sublime beauty of a sundown over sand dunes as depicted by skilled anime background artists. And sand and dust effects in general also happen to be a rather economical tool for selling the impact of ridiculous animated action. Hence why most Dragon Ball fights end up happening where they do. But more importantly, from Nausicaa to Trigun to Now and Then Here and There to Desert Punk to Decadence, this setting basically has a 100% hit rate for producing inherently, viscerally cool anime. And now we get to add veteran Fate animator Atsushi Ikaria's directorial debut adaptation of Sabikui Bisco, Shinji Kobukubo's award-winning breakout hit light novel series from 2018, to that list. In the far future, Japan has been reduced to an island string of ocean-borne dust balls, ravaged by a corrosive, rusty wind that eats away at metal and flesh alike. At the same time, all over the place, new varieties of mushroom, possessed of strange properties and wildly varying sizes, have begun popping up, and based on the common belief that they're somehow the cause of all the rust, the government has made all forms of fungi illegal. But Milo, a young, selfless, genius doctor who spends all his time helping the poor instead of getting rich helping the rich, believes those shrooms might actually hold the secret to curing his dying sister. When Milo crosses paths with a mushroom-spreading terrorist named Bisco, who happens to be searching for Sabikui, a legendary mushroom said to be able to eat all rust, the unlikely pair sets out on a perilously epic quest to find that mushroom and restore their broken world. Which said dying sister doesn't take too kindly to, on account of how she's also a katana-toting cop. But with or without her approval, that quest is going to take our heroes past a wide array of incredible sights and sounds, such as what looks like a temple fortress on the back of a giant hermit crab, just judging from the trailer. Also, did I mention that Bisco shoots arrows that explode into giant mushrooms? This is exactly my favorite kind of anime. A truly out-there premise that sets up crazy action scenes, the likes of which I've never seen before, and that could only be pulled off in animation, but that also makes a shocking amount of sense when you dig down into the nitty-gritty world-building details the authors laid out. If that doesn't sound cool to you, I'm sorry that you've never seen a cool anime before. Please fix it with this one. Then watch Appare Ranman. And Metabots. And I got a whole bunch of videos of shows you should watch. watch my whole channel. And with that, we've reached the end of... Wait a sec. 1, 2... that's only 9! I've failed you! Or rather, the new anime this season has very slightly failed me. But that's okay. Some seasons are just like that. Frankly, it's nice to have some slow time to catch up on all the really good shit I didn't have time to finish last year. And between Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Ranking of Kings, and Princess Connect, we're still eating pretty well otherwise. Really can't complain. Wait, what am I talking about? This is the anime community. All we do is complain. Okay, tell you what, just behind the counter here, got some other anime that just came in. Some of them got some bumps and bruises on them. Others smell a bit weird, but basically, they're still good. So I'm just gonna toss a few of those out there, and you can pick your own number 10. First up, Gacha adaptation Girls Frontline has what's gotta be the dumbest premise ever. In the future, World War III won't be fought with nukes or lasers, but rather highly advanced AI drones that look like anthropomorphized waifu versions of popular gun models. Then some of them go all Terminator on us, so the other waifu bots gotta step in and stop them. It's real stupid stuff. But the anime takes it completely seriously and manages to create an impressively oppressive air of battlefield tension around its first episode. So this might actually end up being a really good war story? Maybe? I've heard good things about the game, at least. The animation's a real letdown, though. Actually, that's a running theme between most of the stuff in this here bargain bin. Like in The Land of Leedale, a cute, relaxing isekai about this terminally bedridden girl who can only find freedom in her favorite VR MMO that would be a lot cuter if only it was, you know, cuter. Next up, Love of Kill is a romantic comedy thriller about a very lonely professional assassin who tries to court the only beautiful woman he's ever met on the job. It's a fun, twisted premise, but one that really needs the right atmosphere to work, and baffling animation choices like this one dude who just doesn't have a mouth, I guess, simply are not working to create that atmosphere, at least not for me. Same deal with Requiem of the Rose King. Like, I think it's super dope that we now have a second anime adaptation of The War of the Roses. The first, of course, being that one Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy game where Yugi was Henry Tudor and Kaiba was Christian Rosencruz. God, I love that franchise. Anyway, back to Requiem. I am super digging the way that they painted all these backgrounds, and just look at that artistically muted color palette. I tell you, if the line art in this show was even halfway decent, it would really be something to look at. It's not, though, and the story seems like it might really need that beauty to balance out some other potential ugliness in other areas. What I'm saying is, probably just read that manga if you're interested. Now, on the complete opposite end of the production value spectrum, the last anime in this bin, Akebi's Sailor Uniform, might just be the most beautiful anime of the season. Like, we're talking oil-painted, cottage-core background art for days, Shinkai filters out the wazoo, intricately detailed animation of fabrics, character faces, feet, so much feet, all of them on 12-year-old girls, and then one of those sniffed her toenail clippers, and I had to double check I wasn't watching Nickelodeon. Look, if you can ignore that or you're Quentin Tarantino, many cozy coming-of-age type vibes await you in this anime, but I know for some people that's gonna be a real big if. Not to be confused with a real big sniff. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just can't unsee that, and I feel compelled to share my curse. That should be my channel's tagline. Anywho, them's the anime. Here's a list of the 9 shows I actually recommended and where you can watch them, and let's just slap a post-it note on there with those last few bonus scraps, too. Also, as of this recording, it's not out yet, but the upcoming Salaryman Badminton anime Ryman's Club gave me some serious Run with the Wind vibes with that trailer, which is just, holy cow, look at that animation. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. And whatever you're watching this season, be it something new, a sequel, or something from your backlog, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. I'm Geoff Thew, man who watches anime for a living, signing out from still being in the process of moving, so uploads might be sporadic for a bit. Sorry in advance for that, Happy New Year, and remember to drink your G Fuel.